right, welcome to Guaranteed News. Of course, my name is Garrett. As usual, if you're watching this for a second, a minute, the entire video, I appreciate it. You could be watching anything in the world and you're watching Guaranteed News, and that means something to me. Like this video, comment down what you think below, where I was right, where I was wrong, because I always like to see people's opinions, and eventually I'm going to be having people come on the show for interviews as well, but just to come on and do an episode with me talking about whatever I'm talking about to get separate opinions. So the comments are a great way to do that as well, and I really do appreciate it when you guys even say when I'm wrong. I actually do appreciate it, and eventually I should start doing episodes on the comments I get over the week, but we'll do that later. And also subscribe to this YouTube channel. That's GSTEWDIOS, GS Studios, stew, like the one you cook in a pot. And yeah, that's that on that. Let's go back to where I was on before. This episode is going to be about Bill Maher, B-M-A-H-E-R. I don't know. If you don't know him, we'll talk about that a little bit too, but I don't know how to pronounce that last name. By now, if you've watched enough episodes, you know I'm not good at names. But he went to dinner with Trump, and it changed his perspective on him. And he talked about it on his show, the Bill Maher Show. And now I'm going to talk about him talking about the dinner on my show. Yeah. So, for all of you who don't know, Bill Maher is a comedian. He's a comedian. He's had a show since I was like a kid. Like, when did the Bill Maher Show start? Bill Maher Show, first episode on HBO, February 21st of 2003. He's had the show on HBO since I was 3 years old. I was born in 2000. And it's gone through a lot of different versions of it, but it's basically a comedy news show that talks about current events and COVID, everything, the Trump world, Obama, everything. 2003 to 2025. So over 20 years that he's had this show, right? So very popular person. If you don't know him, you've probably seen your parents watching him, talking about him. He's a very popular face. Okay. Just wanted to give some context as to who this guy is and why we should even care, be thinking about what he's saying about Trump, right? Now, the whole reason I'm doing this is because it connects to a common thing. And when I say this episode, it connects to a common thing a lot of Trump voters and MAGA enthusiasts do when it comes to Trump. And I'm not going to lie, I sometimes do it too because I do it too, and I have to stop myself from doing it because I like funny, interesting people. And the journalist and curious person in me always likes to talk to funny, interesting people just to see what makes them tick. What are they thinking about? And I also know that there's a place for them in that world, and I respect that place. So that's why I kind of want to talk about this video because, yeah, what he's doing in this monologue and when he's talking about is something that I think a lot of people do to give Trump grace in a place where I don't think he should be given grace. I guess that's the way I'm going to say it. That's where I'm going to say it. Now, let me make sure. Is there anything else I want to say? I said who he is. Comedian, show. Went to dinner with Trump, changed his perspective, said I'm doing this is because I think it's something that a lot of people do all the time. So we're good. Let's go to the first video. And this is like a little thread. Private meeting with President Trump. It was a dinner. You won't believe what you're about to hear. It's a little bit of clickbaity there. It's not that unbelievable, but we'll get to the first video. So,
as you know, 12 days ago, I had dinner with President Trump, a dinner that was set up by my friend Kid Rock, because we share a belief that there's got to be something better than hurling insults from 3,000 miles away.
Okay, and before this, and I'm glad I stopped it here. I hate to stop when people stop videos, but I had to do it. I do think Democrats and Republicans should be less partisan. They should talk on the other side. I was just seeing something the other day on the news where it's like you can't even get statistics about certain things because people aren't giving their opinions. They're just giving the opinion of the side that they're on, and that's terrible, right? Like, I do think that you should talk to the other side. And I don't think that, how do I want to put this? I don't think that as a journalist, you cover something. As a human being, you try to fight against something or go against something, or just in nature or anything, you try to be kind of on the other side of a different thing, of an opinion of a person of something, by just completely ignoring it and shutting it out, or just saying everything about them is wrong. I think the better way for most things is to understand the different perspective, because I just think at the very best, if you're trying to beat them, it gives you more power and it gives you more ability. At the very least, it just gives you insight into how other people think and someone you disagree with, which to me, again, just being a curious person is interesting to me. So I say that to say, I don't think the fact that this guy went and talked to Trump in and of itself is bad. I have like family members and people and friends. I have friends that love Trump. I have friends that think Trump is the second coming of like a devil, like a demon. Like I have a wide range of friends, right? And I'm not on either side that believes you just say the other side is crazy 99.9% of the time just for the simple fact of it. And I'm not also of the opinion of I'm just not going to be anywhere near anyone that has different opinions than me if those opinions aren't going off of like, of course, like me, like my values or values of human nature, like real values. Like if you like Trump because you think there's certain problems with the country, I'm not gonna not talk to you. And if I had the opportunity to interview Trump, and if you watch this show, most of the things with Trump, and especially now more and more, I disagree with Trump. But if I had the opportunity to interview Trump, I would do it too. So I do want to say that before I start the videos and before I start kind of what I'm going to say about what I think Bill Maher says. I'm going to call him Maher because Maher, I don't know.
Away. And let me first say that to all the people who treated this like it was some kind of summit meeting, you're ridiculous. Like I was going to sign a treaty or something. I have no power. I'm a fucking comedian, and he's the most powerful leader in the world. I'm not the leader of anything, except maybe a contingent of centrist-minded people who think there's got to be a better way of running this country than hating each other every minute. So, thank you. Okay, so meet up in person. Maybe it'll be different. Spoiler alert, it was. First good sign, before I left for the Capitol, I had my staff collect and print out this list of almost 60 different insulting epithets that the president has said about me. Things like stupid, dummy, lowlife dummy, sleazebag, sick, sad, stone cold crazy. Really?
And obviously, like most things, Bill Maher is someone for the last 10 years since we've known Trump, or about 10 years, not known Trump as a politician and the Trump that he is now. Because I remember You're Fired, dang, The Apprentice Trump. But for the last 10 years, a politician Trump, he has been someone that has been vocally critical of Donald Trump, says a lot of things about him. He's a comedian. You can probably think of some jokes or think if you haven't seen it, right? He's been very critical of him for 10 years. So that's another reason why this is a big deal that he went to dinner with him. And now he thinks these amazing things about him, right?
A dumb guy, fired like a dog. His show is dead. It 60. I brought this to the White House because I wanted him to sign it, which he did. Which he did with good humor. And I know as I say that, millions of liberal sphincters just tightened. Oh my God, Bill, are you going to say something nice about him? What I'm going to do is report exactly what happened. You decide what you think about it. And if that's not enough pure Trump hate for you, I don't give a fuck.
And fair enough, and that's what I'm doing. I'm going to say what I think about his report.
You take a picture in one, which I appreciate. And he gave me a bunch of hats, but he didn't ask me to take a picture in one, which I appreciated.
I don't think this is the one I want. This is the one.
It's an amazing tour of the whole. At one point, we were walking through it is an amazing tour of the whole house. And I don't remember exactly what we were talking about, but it must have been something with the 2020 election, because I know he used the word lost. And I distinctly remember saying, wow, I never thought I'd hear you say that. He didn't get mad. He's much more self-aware than he lets on in public. Look, I get it. It doesn't matter who he is at a private dinner with a comedian. It matters who he is on the world stage. I'm just taking as a positive that this person exists, because everything I've ever not liked about him was, I swear to God, absent, at least on this night with this guy.
Okay. This is when I was watching this thread at like 4 a.m. last night. This is where I was like, okay, I have to talk about this on the show. And this is where I was like, I disagree and I want to say something. This is where my monologue starts in his monologue. So he says how somebody acts at a dinner, how the president acts at a dinner is not the end all be all of how he should be graded as a president, as someone that has this job that's very important. He says that, and that's the point of everything. But then the next thing he says is, I'm just glad this person exists because the things that I didn't like about him, all the things I didn't think I liked about him, were not in this dinner with him. And I just get to this point where I don't get why people see Trump, and I wouldn't think he would either. I don't get why. My dog just yawned. What the hell? I don't get why people see Trump as this evil, terrible person that likes to show people that he's an evil, terrible person because that's all he knows how to do. And he's tapping into this terrible, heartful, or heartless, scary part of America. And it's because that's all he knows how to be, and that's all he is. I don't agree with that. Like, some of the most awful people are also some of the most funny, charismatic, fun to have a good time with, fun to be around. They make people laugh. They make a room brighter. Like, some of the worst people that are like morally, and I won't say worst people, but morally questionable, usually selfish, mainly care about themselves, are able to get themselves ahead, and they'll get themselves ahead even if it's going to be putting most people down, and even if that's friends and sometimes family. Like, those people also, if you take them to a party, will take over the room and be very fun to talk to, very entertaining. They can make jokes, they can talk about anything. They're going off of what you're doing. They're being a chameleon. They have all the people around. I know and been around a lot of people like that, and that's where I get to the point of where it's like, Donald Trump, and then there's also people that are just bad people. And not only are they bad people, they make it obvious that they're bad people. Not only are they bad people, but they make it obvious that they're bad people in the way that you talk to. You don't invite them to parties. They don't have a lot of friends. They have friends for like a little bit of time. They're lonely all the time, and they're like everybody. But Trump is not in that bucket. Trump is obviously in the bucket of bad people that are very charismatic and fun to be around and very magnetic. And that's just a weird thing that's a major plus from him. It gets into that conversation I have on the show all the time of what makes a good politician in this world. Because the guy that would have been popular in high school does not mean you're the guy that should be the president. The guy that's popular in high school can be the president and probably should. You want the president to be able to talk to a wide range of people, be personable, but you also want it to be meaningful and him to seem to care and to seem to actually be in public service because he wants to serve the public, not for all the other things that could come with public service and like changing the world and stuff. And I don't want to get into whether Trump is whatever Trump is as far as why he's doing this and if he really wants to make the country better or if he's making his rich, like all those different things. The video is not about that. The video is about the fact that people use that as a thing of him being a good president. The fact that he's obviously hilarious. He's very funny. He had like one of the best reality TV shows for a reason. He's entertaining. Like like the way he would talk to people, the way he's blunt to the point. You have to respect people like that, or at least I do, because I think it's entertaining and it's different and it's unique. And do I think if I went to a dinner with Donald Trump that he could sweet talk me? Yes. But do I think I could be like, Trump is somebody that knows and sees a whole bunch of things, and he is able to be funny, entertaining, talk about a lot of different things, take jabs and be witty and give some jabs back, especially if that's what he wants to do. Another thing about these people, they are able to turn it on and off. It's not like a natural thing. It's like I need to be entertaining around a bunch of liberals. I need to be entertaining a bunch of hillbillies. He probably decided that I'm gonna be with the hillbillies because that's what I can win with, and he won. Like, that's just like, I don't think it's a big deal that Trump is funny, entertaining, easy to have a conversation with. I don't think that makes him a good president. And and I get it with social standings. Like, a lot of people want to be friends with that person. A lot of people don't care because you get the attention. People, like, that's a thing, you know? That's fine. I don't do it. If you're a bad person, but you're charismatic, funny, and cool to hang out with, I'm charismatic, funny, and I like hanging out with myself. So I don't like being around people like that. But if you're the type of person that does, I don't look at you differently because that's respect. There's a lot of good people who are boring. Like, I'm not a believer that being a good person means you should have a lot of friends and stuff if you're boring or if you're just not fun to talk to, if you don't do, you know what I'm saying? If you're boring, you're boring. You're not going to do good at a party. And the person that is a bad person and will leave you, if it comes down to it, will get better better on at the party. That's not a bad thing. That's how life goes. That's people. You feel me? So if you're, I'm not saying that, oh, you shouldn't like Trump or this isn't someone, you know, he should have a lot of shows. He should have a lot of attention because he's charismatic. He's a good businessman. I think the point I'm making is clear. So that's the main thing with this that really confused me, that this was his take, that I'm just happy this guy exists because I didn't think he exists. You didn't know you didn't know a charismatic, funny, bright person exists. Again, bad people are not bad. Successful people are not bad and successful because they're just bad and terrible to be around all the time, you know? Or else they wouldn't get anywhere. They wouldn't be able to tempt you. And I think in politics, the fact that no one's able to fight that temptation or even able to ask themselves about it, like, am I being sweet talked, is not good. That should be a part, I think, of how you're determining a president. Is some sort of, you should be able to do that, but how you do it is interesting and should matter. And of course, people don't do that with friends, of course. They don't think about these things, but it doesn't matter. That's just friendship in life. That's not that big of a deal. With the president, I think we should. There should be more discretion with presidents, is I guess my point. And I want to get to more of
Bob,
this.
Kid Rock, told me the night before, he said, if you want to get a word in edgewise, you're going to have to cut him off. He'll just go on. Not at all. I've had so many conversations with prominent people who are much less connected, people who don't look you in the eye, people who don't really listen because they just want to get to their next thing. People whose response to things you say just doesn't track, like, what? None of that with him. And he mostly steered the conversation to, what do you think about this?
And I'll say, like, bro, I'm the type of person, it's bad. I try to get better off of it. I'm a yapper. I like to talk. I like talking to interesting people. But if you're not interesting to me, you will be able to see I'm not gonna like. I can see, but I don't want to be the president of the United States. And I know how to turn it on and off. And there is a way to learn how to turn it off. I think I can do it kind of easily. It's a God-given talent of just, I don't know. But I've read books about it as well. Like, I've read books about how to see people better, how to have better conversations, how to be a better interviewer. You don't think he can turn it on and on. And the worst part about it is he has it naturally, I bet, and uses it for his gain. Like, bro, it's like he just got sweet talked on a date. Like, you ever see someone flirt, like a guy flirting with a girl, and you're like, shit. Like, it's not hating, but it's like, that's like, that worked. Like, type, like, shit. Like, it's a different bag. Like, but it's like, damn, that bag worked. Like, all right, okay. I'm not gonna try. Like, sometimes you see something where it's like, I could get that. That's a little, oh yeah. Like, I'm gonna train that. But like, what do you think about this? Or some of the other stuff he says where Trump was like, oh, I lost the election, or he like came at Trump for losing the election, and like he's surprised, like, bro. I mean, if you watch 30 episodes of Bill Maher's show and I wanted to be entertaining to Bill Maher and think I was cool, I mean, I would come and be like, I was impressed, but this is, and I'm going to say what happened. Maybe you push it or not push it. And that's another thing. Like, on the dinner, if I'm going to dinner with him, I'm also not a believer. You don't interview someone or you don't do something with someone just to bash, just to be an asshole the whole time. I mean, you want to give them some room to talk. You want to give them some room to pull you over. You have to open it up a little bit, your heart, your mind, to be specific. But it's like, golly, like, bro, it just is like, what do you think about this? Oh, what do you think? And
I know. Your mind is blown. So's mine.
It's not blown. My mind is not blown hearing that at all. At all.
I never felt I had to
and I
walk
wouldn't
on
think
eggshells around him. And honestly, I voted for Clinton and Obama, but I would never feel comfortable talking to them the way I was able to talk with Donald Trump.
And the next thing he says I agree with, but this is where I call BS a little bit as well. Is he talking about Bill, or is he... I'll get to Obama last. I can never feel that comfortable talking. What were you guys talking about, and what did you want to be comfortable to say around the president of the United States? Another problem I have is, like, there has to be some sort of quorum of respect. Like anyone that knows me, as I talk the same around anybody, it's bad. It's why you could be... there is a way you could be embarrassed for being around me. But at the same time, it's genuine. Bro, the people I'm the most comfortable around, bro, I kind of sometimes slip out a cuss word in front of my grandma, bro. And she's getting to the point where she kind of knows, she doesn't, like, respects it because I am 25. But it's also, like, the thing, like, it's my grandma, bro. I'm comfortable around her and I like cussing. It's hard for me not to cuss. And even if you see this on the show, I try not to cuss, but sometimes I can't help it, bro. Like, it's hard for me to not say what I'm thinking or say how I feel in a way that it comes through my head and out my mouth quickly. Like, it used to be on my report cards. And I say that to say, even around the president, I still would believe there's some type of business that you would want to have to where what could they be talking about where he was so comfortable around him? Because Bill Clinton, if he's talking about Hillary Clinton, all right, you got it. If he's talking about Bill, because I don't know, Hillary didn't seem like someone that, she did seem cold, like business to the highest end of business. There's a lot of reasons why I could say that we could get into, and I understand that, but I'm just telling you how I feel. Now, Bill Clinton, I was not even alive, but he seems professional. But from what I saw about him, I would think the guy that is who's doing that in the Oval Office is someone that's probably not hard to talk to. Masters is going on right now. I could imagine if you went to dinner with Bill Clinton in the White House, maybe it's not the same, or maybe he's more professional, or maybe you can't just say certain things around him because he's the president, but he won't have you walking on eggshells. He's personal. But I also think if you went just, again, the same guy that did that in the Oval Office, I'm assuming if you took him out, if you had a day with Bill Clinton, the Masters are going on right now. Yeah, I said that. I almost lost my train of thought. If you went out Saturday at the Masters, the people don't play for real at 2 a.m. If you went out at 8 a.m. for like an 18-hole, maybe a 9-hole, a breakfast, 9 holes, playing golf with Bill Clinton, drinking a few beers and having breakfast, I bet you would have a lot of fun with him, and he'd be very personable and very easy to talk to and very charming, charismatic, and funny. He's a president. He was able to be president. But I also think that he was professional and that there is maybe some things that this guy might have been wanting to talk about with Trump that he wouldn't have talked about with Bill Clinton, that Bill Clinton would still talk about, just out of the nature of professionalism and an air of, I am the president. Is there, like, what were you talking about where you're saying this? And then Obama, even worse. I call bullshit even worse. All I know, professional, perfect in that way of talking, but you don't think Obama, charming, charismatic, easy to talk to, jokes, says fried shit, thinks fried shit, the guy that was bombing all over the world, like, and I say that to say, these guys aren't these professional, like obviously there's some cap, but that's what you want, a version, like, it's like he's getting into the wrong cap. Do you see what I'm saying? Where I'm like, you don't think you could have been, you don't think you could have had normal conversations with Bill Clinton? And if you're citing Hillary, okay, I don't know who he's talking. I don't know. I don't know why my mind goes to Bill. It just does, because Bill's actually president. So that's why he's like, I'm voting for president. But Obama, guy did a March Madness every year, had his music, he does like a DJ thing, like not a DJ, but he does his playlist from the year, he shows his Apple Music, he's funny as hell. You've seen Obama make jokes with people, you've seen Obama when he's on the stage, he's quippy, he's witty, but because he's professional and buttoned up, you think that what? That's just interesting commentary to me. And I know 20-year show Bill Maher's had. I know he's funny. I agree with him a lot of times. But it's just like the fact that he's surprised that Trump was able to show this and this is a guy that Bill Maher's fried. I've heard things about him that I'm not going to say because it's like I get it to an extent of being fried and like being famous. Like, but it's like, what did you want to talk about with Trump? Because Trump is hell. Like, I know he would talk. There's no decorum of if he knows you're fried and he's gonna leave. It's like Trump baited this guy. I guess I'll say maybe that's good for maybe like businesses, or I don't know, Putin is that easy, or not businesses. I keep thinking because he's running the country like a business. I guess that's good for like him, like in these talks. Guarantee News, we talked about it yesterday. Go and watch the episode. He's gonna talk with the Chinese leader, Jinping, president, whatever you want to call him. Sorry. Maybe it's good for that. I don't know if they're that easily to be deterred, but like, it's just too easy. It feels like to me. It's just too easy.
That's just how it went down. Make of it what you will. Me, I feel it's emblematic of why the Democrats are so unpopular these days. He was even okay when I checked him on the orangutan lawsuit. He was. He said to Dana White, Bill said my father was an orangutan, and I really love my father. And I said, well, Mr. President, I did that because I didn't like what you were doing regarding Obama's birth origins. I thought that was low. Again, no anger, just a little smile as if to say, yeah, I get it.
And to him, that was impressive. And he took it as this, oh, this is this guy that's self-aware and knows what he's doing. And he's very smart and funny and charismatic. Like, oh, he's able to joke back with me. I would have took it as, oh, so he knows what he's doing. This guy, it would have confirmed all the things that I've thought about him, which this guy is one of the best or worst of his time at what he's doing. Whatever you want to make or break about that, but bro, if I'm in Trump and I'm going and I'm talking about, like, bro, you know when you were, you know when you did this, like, the reason I said this is because you're fucked up, you're fried, and he's like, oh, well, yeah, you got to do what you got to do, you got to break a couple eggs to make an omelet. I'd be like, shit. So he's not just saying this because there's like a difference between like the racist, crazy hillbilly that is like mentally insane and like this calculated, or it's like the difference between the serial killer that is just like going and like shooting 1 million people at one time and the calculated killer that's like killing, like that's doing the 7 deadly sins and writing like a fucking 2-page discernment on why he's doing what he's doing. And you go in his house, like I'm describing 7, you go in his house and he has like 52 journal, like these calculated people that do everything for, like, those people. That's an interesting difference to dissect and be like, oh my God, we're dealing with a different monster, a different beast. This isn't a guy that's just going on these rants and saying these things because he thinks them or because he thinks them, he feels them and he's doing it. He thinks them, he feels them, and he thinks that doing it this way is gonna be profitable for what he wants. And at least with being president, it's worked 2 times. That wouldn't be a thing that makes me think this guy is so different. That would be a thing that make me be like, this guy needs to be taken seriously. Whoever we're gonna get on the Democratic side that's gonna go against this guy has to be very, 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 very pristine. It can't be just this guy that's a goody two shoes for the sake of being a goody two shoes. He has to be a little bit, like, my thinking of it would be like, nah, this guy's not, we gotta do something. And this guy's like, this is the type of shit where people can easily like people, where it's like, he can get a 3rd term. He can sneak talk niggas into a 3rd term. Sorry for him, but it's just like my thing, and I'm done. This is the last video. What does he say? I don't care. In this video, he says the moment that's most surreal is that he went and had this conversation with Trump, and when he went back home to his bed, and he saw Trump on 60 Minutes being Trump, and saying and talking and insulting people and doing what Trump does and talking how everybody in the world knows how Trump's talk, whether you watch it or not. Well, yeah, you just got played. That would have even more confirmed my suspicions that I've been saying for the last 27 minutes and 36 seconds and counting. This guy's good. Anytime I've ever done anything in my life and I said, this guy's good, and I wanted to beat him, you know what I did? I gotta get better. This was not, what I have in my tool bag is not enough. I gotta get better. That's would be my thinking. Oh, jeez Louise. It's like, bro, that didn't make you think that I got played. It was surreal. Yeah, it is a surreal moment getting played. I will say that. Every time I've gotten played by anything, in any situation, afterwards, it never feels, it's like getting knocked out. No one gets knocked out on purpose. No one gets played on purpose. So it is surreal. But at least know you're getting played. Don't be surreal like in bliss. Be surreal and like, shit, I got played. So that's all my thought process with this. I don't think, to put this in a bow, this was supposed to be 15 minutes. I don't think the president, yeah. Because I was going to say anyone. Some people should. Like, bro, the personality hire at, I was too loud. My bad, cuz I guess I was too loud for him. The personality hire at work is needed. You know, the personality person in the friend group that is not a good, caring friend, the friend that you don't call when you need something, you just love hanging out with them because they're going to be cool and you can deal with that. That's not a bad thing. The president personality hire is unacceptable to me. Is it acceptable to you? If that was the case, like, say a major part of why you liked something with the president is because of the way he's able to go on camera and be very entertaining and genuinely funny and witty and quippy and say things, should be a major role. Not major, because major is questionable. I'd say maybe not major, but a major role in picking them to be the president of the United States. That's my question. And what do you think about this? Like, is what I'm saying making sense? I guess is all I have to say. That's all for this episode. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Watch the Masters video that I'm going to put out today as well.